once again, and welcome to the last of these Batman movies I'm doing for from the '90s. Good thing because I'm not doing. I don't never want to watch this movie again after we get through with it. It's the 1997 disaster that pretty much killed the franchise for almost a decade until 2005's Batman Begins. Batman and Robin. Yeah, let's get this over with. 2 hours and 5 minutes. This is a lot, so let's get this over with. This is not the joy that Batman Forever was. At least that one was fun. This is a cartoon. A bad, bad cartoon. The score is good, but that's one of the few good things in it. Once that opening credit breaks, yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger was built first because he's the first one you see. Well, the first villain you see. George Clooney was not a good Batman. Chris O'Donnell comes back as the only actor to come back from the last movie. Because Uma Thurman, yeah, she's yummy. She's one of the few other good things in the movie. Alicia Silverstone, this killed her career before it even got started. One of the worst comic book movies ever made. The ride was good in Six Flags, but the movie is god awful. Yeah, and it's not to the characters personally; it's the writers. Because what? How does this movie start? With them gearing up and they show their genitals. Why? Because again, I didn't suffer enough in the last movie. Why did they have to show the crotch area? I don't know. Because Joel Schumacher just couldn't control himself. You know, when Batman gears up in the other films, they never show his crotch. That was sign number one that this movie was going to blow. Based on DC Comics, oh, trust me, we know. The Batmobile looks like a toy here. It's awful. This movie's horrible. The dialogue is some of the worst I've ever heard. Even Val Kilmer said no to this, and I'm glad he did. This would have killed his career. He would rather do The Saint. And people thought Chris O'Donnell couldn't act after this. It's not his fault. Bad script, guys. Akiva Goldsman just did not have it here. He didn't. Here comes the first line of the movie, and we are not even in the first action scene yet. Yes, that's why Superman's coming out this year, Batman, because he's gonna do things that you couldn't do in a while. The last Batman movie that was really good in the theater was The Batman, and that was 3 years ago. And there's Michael Goff. Yeah. This is why Superman works alone, so his movie can make money. And so that he doesn't have to suffer another Batman v Superman in the theater. Yeah. I don't want to hear it today, guys. Just leave me alone. There's the bike. The production's not the problem. It's the writing and the god awful pacing and some of the acting. I'm sick and tired of this spam. I really should just shut the chat off, but trust me, this movie's gonna be painful enough. There's Pat Hingle. Yes, we know he's a villain. Mr. Freeze. Yeah, no freaking kidding. George Clooney just couldn't take Akiva Goldman. He's the solely responsible for the bad writing. He wrote this, and he also wrote the Lost in Space movie, which sucked too. I hate that movie more because I love the show. I really enjoyed it, and the movie's nothing like the show, and it was overly long for nothing. And I would take the Nolan's movies and Batman v Superman any day over this crap because at least those respect Batman more, not to make him a joke. Yeah, the why did you say that name thing is stupid, but again, that's one scene. This whole movie is like that. This whole movie is like the Martha scene, but oh my god, this movie's so painful. Mercy, mercy. I know. Again, Arnold. Why is he playing Mr. Freeze? He's not. Mr. Freeze is not even German. He's well, one actor played him that was German in the 60s show, but this movie's so bad. Yeah, you don't have to say who you are. I'm Batman. God, this movie sucks. Akiva Goldsman, I don't know what head trauma he had when he wrote this, but yeah, there's a reason Burton wasn't Batman Forever. There's a reason why Burton was involved in that one, and this one he was like, hell no. I'd rather work with Johnny Depp for a decade than do this crap. At least Johnny Depp didn't stoop so low. This movie's horrible. This is the first DC movie I've done a podcast for that I'm beyond words. Yeah, trust me, that's what Schumacher did. And then when after he did this, when 8mm came out, it flopped because people were so scared it was going to be like this, and it's not. It's actually a good film because Akiva Goldsmith didn't write it. No, this movie's from hell. This is like, you know how the corny dialogue is in Spider-Man? Elevate that to 12, and that's this movie. At least that movie is fun. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man has its flaws, some of the CGI and some of the dialogue, but at at least it needed to be lighter because Spider-Man is not super dark like Batman. He could be dark, but he's not a cartoon like this. It's painful. I haven't seen this movie in years because it's just too painful. Oh my god, these puns are so horrible. I swear this movie went out of its way to be bad. And I saw this when I was 12, not in the theater. Hell no. Oh god no. I thought it was going to be good and I'm like, yeah, how foolish I was. This movie went from this looks kind of decent to and then you see the movie and I'm like, it's nothing but bad puns and I'm like, it's horrible. This movie, you heard of meme worthy? Yeah, this movie, every bad pun is a meme worthy to make fun of how bad this is. At least the chat is hidden now because I don't want to hear it anymore. You people are sick. You people that are not real subscribers, you can go to hell. Okay? That's what I say right here. Go to hell, you sick bastards. Hit me, boys? Yeah, I don't remember that line. Mr. Freeze is not a wisecracker. Deadpool is a wisecracker. Spider-Man is a wisecracker. Even Rocket Raccoon, but not Mr. Freeze. Excuse me. This is a toy commercial for over 2 hours. The things I have to do to get to for my subscribers that matter, by the way, not people that complain all the time in the chat or say stupid things. I'm shutting off the chat for tomorrow. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. The chat stays off. You can't bother me, you sick bastards. They really need to monitor this chat because like it's ridiculous. These people say weird stuff that don't make any sense. The chat should be banned from people from bots. There should only be subscribers. That's it. Because I know who's real and who's a sicko. Spidey is real. Heterosexual guy is real. Salvatore is real. Not some. This is like the scene with Two-Face in that last one. But that last movie's fun. There's no Jim Carrey this time, guys. He has butterfly wings. Seriously, why? This movie's horrible. And then the Venom movies wanted to be like this. Yeah, there's a reason they don't make superhero movies like this anymore. Everything has to either be dead serious or funny, but it has to have some stakes. Yep, this is a bomb. Clooney played Batman, and then what happens? Decades later, he's in the Flash. Why? Because it's supposed to be a joke. At least it's a cameo and not. These effects are still so bad. Even Mothra looked better than this. The Rebirth of Mothra movies look better than this, and those did not cost $100 million. Nobody was saying that in 1997. Even Ninja Turtles was dead in 1997. There wasn't any movies until the 2000s as well. And say what you will about the 2007 movie, it's better than this movie. It's much shorter. And this video game was horrible. Batman&Robin on the PlayStation, it was so bad. This is one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. Even at 12, I knew that this movie was not... It wasn't nowhere near as good as the first two. Those at least were dark and gritty and had good stories. They didn't overstuff it with BS like this. Yeah. This is one of the worst performances I've ever seen in a DC movie. Again, the script is a thing. Because Arnold is trying, but man, he picked the wrong movie after Terminator 2. That movie's a masterpiece compared to this. At least it's a good sequel. I haven't done it yet because I'm gonna wait till summer. You know, this is what happens when you take make a sequel way too goofy. It's what happened with Love and Thunder. You know why Josh hates that movie? Because they went too goofy with it. Even Karen couldn't save that movie because she was a cameo. Nope. I still prefer Batman Forever over this. It's a joy to watch compared to this garbage. Now here's the only actress in the movie that gets what movie she's in. Her and John Glover. And My Hawk is a good actress because of her. She sounds like her mother. This could have killed Uma Thurman's career, but it didn't because she did Kill Bill years later, and also she did a bunch of other stuff, and she was also in Percy Jackson. Because you hear screaming. She does a lot of monologuing by herself. Why? Because Schumacher thought that they had to rip off Catwoman's origin and Edward Nygma, except she doesn't change her hair color in every scene. Uma Thurman is a redhead for the entire film. Here's John Glover. At least we still have him. He was the Riddler in the animated series of Batman, and he was in Shazam, a much better movie. Shazam at least was funny, but the right way. It's not cringe, 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 cringe every 2 seconds. I can't believe what they did to Bane in this movie. Super soldier serum. So they're ripping off. Trust me, everybody that left the theater in this when they saw this movie were screaming. Venom and Super Soldier Serum, two Marvel references in this movie. They have no shame. Akiva Goldsman didn't even know what movie he was making. Poor Bane. Rest in peace to that actor, by the way, that played Bane in this movie. This is hard to watch, guys. This is so bad. This is just ripping off Frankenstein. A much better movie than this. The 1930s version. There's too many villains in this movie. Too many. There is a commentary for this, but I'm not gonna. I would hear it. I wouldn't want to listen. I don't want to look at the screen though. This is still a horrible movie though. But I'll never see this version again because this is a bare bones. Maya Hawke wasn't even alive yet when this came out. Good thing she wasn't. And if she was, she didn't have to sit through this movie in the theater. Yeah, I'm not good at reaching. Yep. Oh my god. Again, seriously, this movie is a cartoon. I'm afraid you'll have to die. Did Christopher Walken say that in Batman Returns? No. And they don't even want to wait. They just make her the villain in the next 5 minutes after this. You saw those are real snakes, by the way, not CGI. What is the mad scientist doing in a Batman movie? You know this is Batman, right? Not Mega Man. He's wannabe Dr. Wily. Yes, the backstory. Nobel Prize. McGregor syndrome. That's a good Ewan McGregor's name. Oh my god. It was so laughable. Yeah, that would kill somebody. Because again, you need a villain for this movie, even though there's 3 of them in this movie. But Elsa's origin was better than this. Yes, I know. Thank you for telling me all this exposition. It's not Iceman. That's again another Marvel character. Alfred's dying too. And Michael Goff didn't die until years after this movie. At least he outlived this stupid movie. We know. We know. Yeah, I miss you, Michael Goff. Another flashback because we didn't have enough of those. That was ADR because that wasn't even Michael Goff. That was another actor. Who was he talking to? I swear, if Caitlin Deaver wore something like that in Godzilla Supernova, I would lose my mind. Oh yeah, buddy, she does. It's one of the few things in the movie that doesn't hurt me. They're like There's people made fun of her saying she looks like a man. I'm like, no, it's the nose. That nose is sexy. Yeah. Yeah, subtle. Schumacher, subtle. Mm. Those lips must taste so sweet. Mm. Yeah. She's always been sexy, even in the animated series and in the superhero girls. She's cute in that. With Mother Nature, yes, I know. Where did he come from? That is literally the same shot from earlier. Why? Mr. White Christmas. Why is that in this movie? You took a classic movie and made it into this and put it into this god awful film? Akiva Goldsman, go screw yourself for this. Vivica Fox, why did you do this movie? It's a cameo. You're better than this. A year before this, she did Independence Day, and I saw that juicy booty, and I was like, "Yeah, baby." It's one of the sexiest black women I've ever seen. Yes, I said that, Josh. Deal with it. Again, that's what my preference is. Why the blue makeup if she's in one scene? Why is she there? She's there for like one scene. That's it. At least, at least Drew Barrymore and Debbie Mazar had more than one scene, and they're sexy in that movie too. That makeup looks terrible. That was so bad. I'm sick of the cold. I can't wait till it's like 90 degrees. Cute. It's so bad, man. Again, I can't blame Arnold. It's not his fault. It's a nice mannequin thing, but again, Frieza's wife just has to stand there. That's it. They took an image of that actress's body. She has Elsa's necklace. This is why some men can't move on with their lives. They have to hang on to the past. I can move forward. So Nikki Reed is retired. I didn't even know that until here comes the character that could have been cut out of this movie because she serves no purpose. There's already a woman in this movie. You got Uma Thurman. You don't need her. Why is she here? Why? Seriously. Oh, for the little girls. No. You got Uma Thurman. You don't need her in this movie. And Alicia Silverstone, this cursed her. This would haunt her for the rest of her career. At least Clueless is a good movie. I'll say that. The Crush is also pretty decent. I haven't seen it in years, but It's better than this movie. It's not 2 hours and 5 minutes. This is why this movie's so long. Is they add characters that don't need to be there. Why? She's not related to Alfred. She's not British. She's related to Commissioner Gordon. Alicia Silverstone is from California. She's not British. Even if she was, it wouldn't have made any sense. She's not related to Alfred. No, she's not. She's Commissioner Gordon's daughter. I know because I saw the cartoon and the '60s show. They didn't even get the hair color right. In the cartoon, she's got red hair. Why is she a blonde here? And Alicia Silverstone didn't even know why. You can't blame her for completely because again, she didn't write the movie, and she didn't know what she was doing there. She was an add-on. She's so soulless in this movie. Give me, give me Scarlett Johansson any day in the Avengers over this. I'm an uncle now, but I'm not. My niece is not British. Thank God, because I couldn't look at my niece in the face if she was one of those bentos, but I can because she's Hispanic and she's from Paraguay. And look at this awkward silent scene. Are you gonna say anything, guys? I went through this long pause with the Scooby Doo Moon Monster Moon Mantis. Wilfred. All this backstory is for nothing. That's a stupid line. I felt more emotion in Far From Home and No Way Home because I'm more connected to Spider-Man. Even though I love Batman, but Spider-Man is one of my favorites in Marvel, and his movies have been better than Batman's recently, mainly because his movies are shorter. You don't need a 3-hour movie to get your point across, guys. I love the Batman was a great movie, but it's too long. Far From Home is like 20 minutes shorter, or 30 minutes shorter, 35 minutes shorter than the Batman. It is, and it doesn't need to be that long. Even the extended cut is shorter, which I don't think was really needed. The Batman didn't need an extended cut. Trust me, that movie was long enough. And I did a podcast for that. You can see that on my channel, my old channel, or something. This is a bad movie. It was always a bad movie, and it was cursed from the start. Wish this was the Batman and Robin directed by Tim Burton. It would have been much better. And to keep a Goldsman, keep him away from movies like this. There's like a million subplots in this movie. Commissioner Gordon has nothing to do in this film. Good morning, heterosexual guy. I used to have this movie on DVD, but then I threw it out because of how much it made me cringe. Yeah. Gotham wigs. This is the only wig she wears in the movie. That's how her daughter's hair looks like. She's a brunette. Observatory. Ellen McPherson, she can't act. There's Bob Kane's wife. He died. This is the last movie he saw before he died. That's so sad, man. There's the Asian guy. He has a bigger part in this than he did in Batman and Forever. Those are the same two actors, him and the black woman from the last movie. But at least they have more to do here. They get captured near the end at the end, but that's not funny. Like Robert De Niro said, yeah, that's not funny. Again, another a better DC movie I'd rather be watching. Josh is like, it's about mental illness, so I'm running away. Yeah, because that's how you feel. Every time a movie's about mental illness, you're like, this isn't representing me. It's not supposed to represent you. Joker is crazy. You're not. You just have problems. Lots of issues. Like Robin says, you have issues with women because you think that celebrating women means to be a pervert. No, it means to show that you're heterosexual. You don't have to tell people you are. I show people I am because that's what I need. I can't live without women. Got it? You see why I'm obsessed with the girls from the Really Loud House? Because they're women. They're not little kids. Like a third of them are, but 2/3 of them are women, not kids. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And why does George Clooney shake his head like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin? You're not Steve Austin. Seriously, why do guys age so fast? Like him, John Stewart, and a bunch of these actors, they went from like 30 to like 60. I mean, they just have not. Some have aged poorly. Some age well, but some age poorly. Uma Thurman has aged well. Acceptable loss, huh? We know, Uma. We know. I will take back. I'll really. Deadpool and Wolverine is a masterpiece compared to this movie. That's a sequel that will lived up to it. Blake Lively talking for 2 minutes is not going to ruin the movie for me. You know why? I got a criminal brain. It doesn't get affected by stupid, petty things like that. If she ruined the movie for me, I would have been like, okay, this movie sucks now. No. The villains were worse than her. They got way more screen time and they're British. That's always going to be a dagger to my heart compared to Blake Lively. I'll see her films. I don't care what she did. It's not like she killed somebody, guys. Ezra Miller was threatening people. Yeah, he's way worse. And he got canceled. So there's more monologuing. Who are you talking to? It's not like Enigma when he was talking to the camera. Seriously. Pamela, who are you talking to? There's nobody there. Here comes Arnold's flashbacks. That's like him and Maria Shriver, I know. My brother did the same thing 2 years ago when he got married. Good for him. I know, Arnold. Again, that's gonna be me when I see Superman this year. Shut up. I agree, Arnold. I agree. Or a home video. That actress at least got paid for those flashback scenes. She looks so happy. She's one of the few actresses in the movie that wants to be there. She's a beautiful actress. Would have been a great Elsa in the 90s. You gotta move on. I had to. The Really Loud House got a KCA nomination, which I'm very happy about. They said it would never happen again, huh? And another circus scene because we didn't get enough of that in the last movie. At least that was part of the plot. Here it's just another time filler scene with gorillas this time, not acrobats and clowns. I'm glad that this movie was a disappointment. Yeah, I'm glad because if this didn't happen, we would have never gotten Batman Begins. You want to see a better Batman movie that came out around the same time? See Sub-Zero. It's an animated version of this that's much shorter and it's much more heartfelt and it's better written. It's a cartoon also. This is garbage, guys. I want to do that movie, but I'll do it in June. Who are you? Elon Musk? ISIS? No, I'm not gonna go there. Why is Batman making a public appearance when he's supposed to be in the shadows? This is the gayest Batman movie I've ever seen. Yes, I said it. Gasp! You're not supposed to say that. It's a word. I'm using it. This movie wishes it was heterosexual like me. The women are beautiful in this movie. There's no doubt about that. But Alicia Silverstone has nothing to do. This scene is so mental. And what gorilla has purple fur? They don't have fur like that. They're gray, black, or they're white. There's no gorillas that are pink. Her costume is sexy, I'll say that, but not the gorilla thing. Her nails are pretty too, the green nails. See, not every scene in this movie hurts, but a lot of it does. Trust me. I think Superman 4 is worse because it's cheaper. Hmm. I saw this when I was 12, by the way. I didn't even hit puberty yet. But I'm like, I knew what a woman was. If Karen did something like this, forget it. I would explode out of my nose. Yes, pheromones. We all have them. Anybody with genitalia has that. They're like, watch this reveal. Watch this reveal. Oh my god. She is so sexy, yeah. And she looks right at the camera and like, Uma Thurman, you are drop dead gorgeous. I could give you that. And she can act. It's just in this movie everybody is held back by that terrible script. Kristen Stewart never looked this good in anything. Ever. The sparkling men is a bit much, Schumacher. She could have came out by herself. She didn't need some Chippendale dancers to be there. Even that old dude's like, damn, yeah. Hi there. We know. Her lipstick is very pretty too. The makeup was done fine. We all get hit with that. I just smell a woman and I go. I have to give this movie some credit. It's unlike the DC movie that came out in 2023. At least this movie didn't cost. Yeah, it's a shorter movie. It's cost less, but still, that's only because it was a '90s film. Only, only, ti- only Titanic was more expensive than this movie, and it came out the same year. Your sparkling face is so pretty. Get it? Haha. Oh, trust me. Caitlin Deaver is gonna hit the honeypot when she and everything you talk. Yeah, she talks like she's in a porn, guys. I get it. Because because Schumacher thinks that women are only a sex object. Well, that's wrong. They also have personalities and soft skin and beautiful voices. This is the scene that broke this movie. Kiss My Fat Grits movie. How dare you give Batman a back credit card? No wonder the nostalgia critic. Guys, there's other women in this movie. Sub Zero's the real Batman and Robin. Yeah, it is. It's shorter and it's better written. I was gonna see that movie. I'm like, please don't be as bad as Batman and Robin. And it was not. It's the same movie, except it's shorter and there's no Poison Ivy or Bane. Chill. Yeah, no. I'll chill when this movie's over. There's 40 ice puns in this movie. 40. Schumacher knew this movie wouldn't would have people would have walked out if there was no women in it. Poor cops. They're so incompetent in this movie. Again, cartoon sound effects in a Batman movie. It's still pretty bad, but it's still better than most superhero movies got today. But no, I say this: it's horrible, but I would sit through this any day over Eternals. That movie is way longer and it's more cringe and it's gayer because you have two men kissing in a Marvel movie and it adds nothing. Numb. It doesn't work on him. Hmm. I'm shocked that nobody grabbed their bosoms in this movie. I guess because it's not an R-rated. Mm, beautiful girl. If Madeline Petch did this, yeah, I've seen fan films that are better than this. And the toys in this movie sucked. I remember the toys in Toys R Us when I saw this movie, and also um, at Target. Well, Target was around, but I didn't go to it. But to you too. Apes are not monkeys. Monkey work? Yeah, it's an ape. A gorilla is an ape. It's not a monkey. Why do people keep saying that it's a monkey? It's not a monkey. We're only 49 minutes in. We got another hour to go. God, this is going to be painful. But I'm doing it for you guys. My next movie won't be a rant. Let me get up because this is painful. Good thing I could donate this DVD when I'm done with this movie. Because I have the other films separately. I don't ever want to own this movie. If he disables his car, again, that's what Chris O'Donnell said when he came back. He was the only actor from Batman Forever to come back, and that was from that was young because the rest of the cast did not come back. Like Val Kilmer went to do The Saint, Nicole Kidman went to do To Die For. Who else? Tommy Lee Jones, his character died. Jim Carrey was doing Liar Liar, so he was doing better things. These people have better things to do than this garbage. And also, this movie came out in a really hard year. 1997, there were a lot of bad films. You had this, and Steel, and Spawn, and what else came out? Uh-oh. God, yeah, he caught him. One of the few Batman scenes in the movie. But that's it. Because there's no dialogue. He just says, uh-oh, knocks him out, and towers over him. That's one of the only scenes in the movie that's good with Batman. Your revenge on this movie on your old channel. Thanks, heterosexual guy. The whole movie, there's already enough conflict in this movie, guys. You don't need to add more. And then there's bickering between him and Batgirl for no reason. I'm not gonna call her Batgirl. She's Beano. Batgirl in name only, because this is not Batgirl from the comics. Talk about not respecting the source material. They couldn't even get her origin story right. A DVD, yeah, something that nobody uses anymore. I do. What do you think I'm watching this movie on? I'm not going to stream this movie on Max. I do not give an algorithm my time, but it gets out, like all these villains do. The score, the score is wasted on this bad movie. It really is, because I like the score in the last movie. And I miss Michael Goff a lot. Another flashback. There's too many flashbacks in this movie. You got Freeze's flashbacks and Bruce's flashbacks. I'm like, we get it already. It's a DC movie because every DC movie has to have flashbacks, guys, whether we like it or not. Even the best ones have a flashback, or the whole movie is a flashback. All of them, even the ones I enjoyed, like Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Hell, Wonder Woman starts as a flashback when she's a little girl. So every DC movie has this. Even the TV movies and TV shows have to have flashbacks. The Arrow had more flashbacks than a soap opera. Yeah. Yeah, Alicia Silverstone, you notice she disappears for like 20 minutes. All these scenes with the girls and all that, and with Poison Ivy, there's no mention of her until the end. And why did you put eyeliner under her eyes? Alicia Silverstone's not ugly. It's just she's basically the lesser version of Reese Witherspoon. Let's face it, she had a way better career. She won an Oscar. Legally Blonde is one of the best comedies of 2001. The second one sucked, but I'm not going to blame her. Cody Rhodes in Arrow. He was in Arrow? I don't remember. It was before he was bleached blonde. Arkham Asylum. Why don't they just put them in prison? Not an asylum where they could easily get out. Because people are stupid, that's why. Ugh. Arnold, you should be ashamed of yourself. At least when Karen Gillian shaved her head. for Guardians of the Galaxy, that was worth it because she came back for more. You didn't. He never came back as Jesse Ventura. Why is he in this movie? Again, please stop with these stupid puns. No, I'd rather be watching Doom. It's not a good movie, but it's better than this. And Dune. What are you, choking or something? Arnold looks like he's on drugs in this scene. Look at it. It's like he's going through withdrawal. You will not need to see it. Do not enter condemned. I get why DC is so obsessed with putting flashbacks because they can't tell a full plot. Yeah, what are these glowing guys doing here? Oh yeah, because they were in the last movie, but they look even worse here because they serve no purpose. They're not in a fight scene this time. They're just there. The makeup is impressive, no doubt about it, but why are they there? They don't fight. I. She is. Yeah. At least when Robin fought them in the last movie, yeah. The makeup is impressive, the glow in the dark makeup, but again, Schumacher, you have to have more than just visuals to get my attention. Yeah. That's not even a fight scene. He just throws them once and that's it. I'm like, wow. Even Don the Dragon Wilson had a more dignified scene in Batman Forever. That's why I like that movie over this. This movie's horrible. You go from can't be fun to this garbage to an absolute cartoon. A bad cartoon. Like Velma cartoon. Why did you do that? That line is so cringy. Again, Akiva Goldsman, you keep your affiliations to yourself, buddy. That CGI looks terrible. It's the worst movie ever. It's one of the worst movies ever made. You see, this is why Green Lantern's not the worst anymore, because this is worse. That movie just, you hate it because of the bad CGI. Again, Ryan Reynolds had a career after that. He knew not to play Green Lantern again, and with Green Lantern in the new Superman movie, it's not going to be any worse than this. That movie is going to be Oscar worthy compared to this garbage. What are you, the Hulk? That CG is so dated. Ah, that's not even there. Here's another boring talking scene. Let me lie down. I think I'm going to need to. Why is she dubbed over? I guess Alec McPherson's Australian accent. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We know. This is like bad the ADR from the Madam Web movie. They tried to destroy me. Like that. Yeah, Val Kilmer, at least he didn't have to do this movie. He's thinking of another woman. It's like the scene in Tomcats where he's thinking about Shannon Elizabeth and not the girl he's with. Again, I didn't hear him say anything. He didn't say anything. I know. There's even Kevin Conroy that covers on AI covers on YouTube. And this is a subplot that could easily have been cut out of the movie. They had to give her something to do. I'm like, why racing? This isn't Mario Kart. They had to lower the volume. The movie's too loud. What are those? Are those guys from? Those are the guys from A Clockwork Orange. What are they doing in this movie? That movie's not a cartoon. That movie's dark. Rest in peace, Coolio. I miss you, man. Too bad that he you know, may he rest in peace. I thought this was Will Smith. He's just like Will Smith. He looks like a white Will Smith. And Will Smith wouldn't do a DC movie until 2016's, the Suicide Squad. No, that's just as bad as this. I don't care if his performance is good and a bigger budget. That movie's horrible too. You waste a Joker and you have this horrendous CGI. The villain is a joke. It's just as bad. And DC would not learn their lesson. Even after this, you would think that they would never make a bad movie like this again. But they made several that were just as bad as this. The scene is completely pointless. It doesn't add to the plot either because I never go back to it. I don't know what to say. The scene is completely pointless. The pod race had more because there was something at stake there. Anakin's freedom. This has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Nothing. This guy even sounds like Will Smith. I'm so glad this got roasted on Double Toasted a few years ago. This movie is absolute garbage. It's a good thing movies like Blade came out after this to prove that you can make a comic book movie fun and not be a cartoon. Yes, the CG is dated, but give me Blade kicking a guy in the face or stabbing him with a sword than this crap any day. Yes, thank you, White Will Smith. And look at this terrible screen. This movie is plagued with it all over the place. Not that shot, the next shot. Not that shot. Next shot. Oh my god, that looks terrible. That looked like a found footage movie. Oh my god, that looks god awful. Wow. Wow, she has no personality in this movie. And people were like, why I don't like her, because Alicia Silverstone did a lot of bad movies, guys. Not just this one. She also did Alex Rider and Diary of a Wicked 4 and what else? And that Vamps movie that I hated so much. She sticks her tongue inside of a guy's nose. Why? That's gross. Her tongue goes to one nostril and goes out the other. Yeah, I do that all the time. James Gunn DCU, I would love that with good writing, not with this god awful writing. Yeah, it's sad. And this feels out of place in a movie this goofy. James Gunn knows how to write, guys. Yeah, his Peacemaker, like I said, some of the dialogue was awful. But again, he wrote that during the pandemic. It wasn't like he had a lot of time to do it. They didn't give him a decade to write that movie like James Cameron does with his Avatar movies. But again, it's better than this movie. At least Peacemaker is R-rated and it's more adult. It's not this bad cartoon. And it's coming back in August. I'm seeing it. But please kill Vigilante off. I don't care about that British dude. I don't watch DC for British dudes, okay? I don't. They couldn't wipe the anus of a freaking American actor or Canadian actor. That is a nice prop, though. I would love that if Elsa had a a, a, a music box that turned around. That's what it looks like. It looks like Elsa. Yeah, I have a sister, and I love her very much. Why does she have boobs on her head? Willem Dafoe should have played the Joker like a long time ago, like 10 years ago. He would have been better than Jared Leto. Whatever. No, that we know Uma Thurman. I do have my sister is nice. That Riddler costume is kind of cool, but again, that's property from a better movie. Never show a better movie in your own film, Schumacher, because Batman Forever, while it's slightly flawed, it's better than this movie. The Riddler costume and the Two Face costume are much better than this. That is not Bane. God, this dialogue is so bad. Seriously, Akiva Goldsman, you should have never written another movie after this. Because Lost in Space was just as bad. And it was almost the same running time. And that was the one try that failed. And I love the cold. I love Elsa more than anything. You guys know that. She's probably my favorite thing from that's winter related. Meatloaf. Meatloaf. Meatloaf did not. Meatloaf didn't was too good for a movie like this. He really was. I miss him a lot, but that should have killed them. That fall was hundreds of feet in the air. Wow, what a terrible scene. It's not civilized. When I got COVID, I had to tell my family. I couldn't hide that. I don't hide what's wrong with me. We know, George Clooney. We know you do not have to say that. Yeah, no freaking kidding. I just saw that. Snow cones, ice cream. The demented Frosty the Snowman looking hideout. Wow, that picture is so stupid. This movie's too long. It could have been an hour and 45 minutes. That would have been good enough. Shorter, less painful. There's so much filler in this movie. No, she's not a guy. No, you're not. You're a heterosexual man. Of course, you're gonna be interested in her. And no, I did. If you ask, I did not buy this movie. My dad gave it to me for free, and I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast and never speak of it again. I'm never reviewing it again, and I don't have to do a live stream for it again. Elsa's gonna be my snowy bride. I need, I need an actress. I need somebody that's into Elsa as much as I am. She could be girly. Just she has to appreciate Elsa from Frozen. Cold air. Michael Keaton as Batman Knight is way better than Clooney. Yeah, because he was good in that. Yes, Anthony, I know. That snowman is a nice touch, though. I'll say that. Wow, he said that with no authority in his voice. Yeah, he's just playing himself, exactly. A lot of kicking in this scene. You know what's worse than a bad movie? A bad movie that's too long. Just like COVID. He threw Robin into Nickelodeon slime. This worked in the '89 film. No wonder Harley Quinn wants to do her so bad. Again, guys, you get what you pay for. Her boots are sexy. I'll give them that. Elsa's necklace. Good thing they did that much better. Even though because originally the Snow Queen is a villain, but they didn't want Disney was afraid that people wouldn't like Elsa if she was a villain, so they made her an anti-hero. But it worked. You got the most gorgeous singer in the world to voice her, and then you made her vulnerable and sympathetic and caring. That's why we love Elsa so much. That's why little girls are drawn to her. You lie. Took Elsa's necklace. Even the Snow Queen, I think, is a fascinating character in some of the versions I've seen. Sucks nowadays because of the live action remake of Disney films. God, I hate those. Yeah, I'm not gonna see. In my hands. We know, Arnold. You don't have to tell us. Of course. Yeah, this is the hottest scene in the movie, Josh. I know you're gonna disagree with me, but when she did this, I got turned on by this. Yes, it's weird. The plant looks, it's a good puppet. It's like, watch this. Oh my god. Yeah, that again. If a woman did that in a movie this year, I would not lose. I would lose my mind. Worse than Superman 3 and 4. Yeah, Superman 3 is much better than this. Yeah, when she did that to the plant, I was like, "That's weird," but it's also really hot. I mean, you saw what how I reacted when Brie Larson did that, and went, "Ah!" There's just something sexy about a woman sticking her tongue out. It's just there's something about it that's at least at the very least, that gives me. At least he doesn't die. If Alfred died in this movie, that would have been a middle finger to me. Corn Sweat does a good job. He's going to be one. Bickering like two little brothers. He's not your uncle. Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the worst casting. Yeah, it is. It's a bad casting decision, but it's also badly written. Should have just said no. Yeah, Val Kilmer said no to this. Smart man. He would also be in the Love Guru, but that was years later, and he was a cameo. All the Terminator movies are better than that have Arnold than this. Even Genesis, and that's a bad movie too. But at least Genesis has some decent action. At least Arnold's not phoning it in that movie. Here, he's a cartoon. Pat Engelman. He did all these movies, and he went from, "This is Commissioner Gordon" to, "Who are you, lady?" I'm like, oh god, this is painful. We're 88 minutes in, by the way. I forgot to do the countdown, but yeah, with this movie, the time feels like it's endless. The time isn't going slow; it's stopped. For what? This is Schumacher giving the finger to the fans, destroying the bat signal. The same signal that they made in the beginning of at the end of Batman 1985. I mean 1989, not 85, 89. And she doesn't get her Batgirl costume until the end of the film. You know, Beano. What's up? What's up, Electric Dino? What's up? It's been a while. Too bad you had to come back for this movie. Another flashback. Kiss his cheek, by the way. Why? Computers don't reflect on your face, guys. That's not how it works. I wouldn't be smiling seeing that symbol. I would be cringing. It's like, oh, I found out their secret. Oh, God, this movie sucks. I'm glad I'm done with it after this. Patrick Stewart would have been a better Mr. Freeze. Yeah, he would have acted in this movie, not, but he was doing X-Men a few years after this. I know. She wants to kill his. Warner Brothers should have just brought back the same people from 1989. The score is wasted on this bad movie. It's a lot of good movies, bad movies that have good scores. Because commentary, thanks, man. I'm doing this for you guys. And the two diverse people in the movie get frozen. Well, they get frozen. Why? Because Schumacher doesn't like diversity in this movie. Disney is obsessed with it, but DC, oh God, no. Back then they were like, no, if you're a person of color, you're gonna get frozen in this movie. Yes, this was a bomb. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. This is going right into that bag when I'm done. Because I already got Batman and Batman Returns in a separate thing with special features, and I got the Blu-ray for Batman Forever, so I never have to watch it here again. God, this movie's so badly written. I need some water. You should do commentaries on the show. This is painful. He's cackling like a hyena. Yeah, this is the third girl to find out, the Batcave. Or the third person, actually. It's Vicky Vale, because Catwoman never sees the Batcave. But you have Vicky in the first one, and then Robin in the second one, and then in the third movie, and then this one. But this was like a hijacking. Don't talk about algorithm. You would. Yeah, again, this suit sucks, okay? No red hair, high heels, of course, a butt shot because we have to, us guys didn't get enough of that with Poison Ivy in the movie. She just feels like an add on. Give Black Widow credit. At least Natasha Romanoff's Black Widow didn't feel like an add on. She didn't because she's part of the plot. She doesn't show up in the suit at the end. She has her suit in like the first 30 minutes or so of Iron Man 2. It's a better movie than this. I would sit through that movie any day. It's shorter, it's less cartoonish, and Scarlett Johansson is gorgeous in that movie. And also, she's on her way. She's was baby steps to getting to her to the Avengers, and it worked. And people crap on Joss Whedon. At least Whedon did the Avengers. What does Schumacher do after this? 8 millimeters is a good film, but again, Akiva Goldsman had nothing to do with that writing. People avoided that movie because they hated this movie so much. That's how you know a director peaked when audiences stay away from his films, even in the theaters. And there was no streaming back in 1997. Good thing the movie's almost over because this movie's so terrible. God, this dialogue is so. Akiva Goldsman thought he was writing a porn with her every time she's on screen. She has gorgeous green eyes, by the way. They show a close-up of her lips. This is why her daughter's so beautiful. Mm. Rubber lips. Her name is not Venus. Oh yeah, watch this. His Stone Cold Steve Austin head. Watch. He's the bobblehead of actors in this movie. That is so terrible, man. That's unintentionally funny. And here comes the add-on female to this movie, breaking out the. Wow, you have no. That was not no build up at all. 99 minutes into the movie, guys. She's finally in the suit. No, Alicia, still has a career. Where's your career? I haven't seen her be in anything in years. The movie's so bad, man. If you cut all the filler in this movie, this would be the climax of the movie. But of course not. The woman has to fight a woman. This is a one-woman show. Yeah, it is. Because she doesn't even need to be there. Why is Barbara in this movie? If she serves no purpose except for the girls to have a fight. Because Batman fighting a woman, yeah, that's never happened before in Catwoman. With Catwoman and Batman, Batman Returns. It's not gender politics, guys. Curses. Audrey 2 killed, not killed her, but squished her. No, you're not. No, Batwoman is somebody much gayer than Schumacher. Yeah. Thank God she wasn't in this movie. If she was, I would have never finished it. I'd rather see a Batgirl movie that they were going to make a few years ago, but they canceled it, than anything with Batwoman. Because you know how gay that was. That was the worst show the CW have ever made for the DC Arrowverse. Why? Because even your lead can't act. Well, in the first season anyway. The other lead was marginal, but she was better. This is not funny. This movie is a joke. Batman Returns is a better movie because it's shorter, and it only has two villains, but they're way better than this. A telephone pole that a telephone booth that doesn't even make any sense because guess what? That nobody uses that anymore. Even in the recent Batman stuff. I hate this movie more than Pacific Rim Uprising. That was just a bad sequel that came out years later without the same director. This is the same director as Batman Forever, so there's no excuse. No excuse. Warner Brothers, no excuse. And they're skating. And those vehicles suck. Why is Robin wearing gray? That cow looks terrible. That's why she only wears it for a few seconds on screen. That looks terrible. It's so bad that she takes it off and throws it on the ground. That's how much they cared about this character. Batgirl's supposed to have the cowl, and you made it look like crap in this movie, and then she takes it off and throws it on the ground. That's how much this writer didn't care about this character. She's it didn't work. At least Wolverine had his mask at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. He didn't throw it on the ground. Watch this. Watch this disrespect to this character. I'm not even a super fan of Batgirl because, you know, sometimes she's in things she doesn't need to be in, like the Killing Joke, because that didn't have to be about her. That should have been about the Joker. The first 30 minutes of that movie are pointless. Watch this disrespect. An hour and 45 minutes in. How dare you do that? She threw out the cowl like it was a condom or something. What a waste. Yes, thank you for explaining that, Batman. Exactly. This is just not a good movie. It was bad the moment it was made, and then when it was released, I don't know how they thought that this was going to make $1 billion. Titanic came out the same year and conquered the box office world until Avatar. Hey, John, thoughts on Wings Hauser? Yeah, I miss him. He passed away this year. I miss him a lot. Hold on. Why does he have glowing blue teeth? Nope. Seen any of his B movies? Yeah. They don't even get to kiss in the movie, so them being together is pointless. Yeah, it is. Asian man, it is one of those days where the two minorities in the movie that are in the movie for a little bit, they're barely in the film, and they're frozen for like the third act, and then when they defrost, Champagne and Bullet was really not that great. Plus, the late William Smith is in it. I've never heard of that. Targeting this. Well, this movie's too long. Even by Batman standards, it could have been shorter. Sub Zero is like 30 minutes shorter than this movie, and it's. Oh, that's it for Bade. Excuse me, guys. At least Bane doesn't have to suffer again. We wouldn't see him again until The Dark Knight Rises, and it's much better than this. He doesn't even die. He just. Damn, Danny Elfman is better at musical score. Yeah, it is, because Danny Elfman barely scores a movie that's bad. Lame. Even the way the villains get defeated in this movie is lame. Poison Ivy gets her, one of her plants swallows her up. Bane gets deflated. The only really death that mattered was John Glover in the beginning of the film, because he got poisoned. An hour to 50 minutes. You see why I'm not seeing Mission Impossible in the theater? Because it's longer than this movie by an hour. Why? This movie, the reason it's so long is because there's a lot that doesn't have. That doesn't make any sense. This movie doesn't make any sense. And yeah, it's too long. Blade is shorter than this movie, and so is the Samurai Spider-Man and X-Men. Is way shorter than this. The first X-Men movie. There would have been. That CGI is terrible. Again, the '89 film did it better. That laser is destroyed. Just like this film's box office. Oh my god, it was so painful. Again, that's a bad line. Don't be sexist. At least Scarlett Johansson had more pizzazz to her. Even in Endgame, when she dies, she has more dignified. She's more dignified than this. Rubber icicles. The stupidest thing I've ever seen. How did that happen? Even the dog had to get frozen. That bulldog. I hope so. I hope the summer's not like this. Hmm. How did he record this? Did Batman have a GoPro on him? Yes, Arnold. I know. I get it. This movie's painful. I do have that power. This would have been a really emotional scene if movie wasn't such a bad cartoon. This could have been a really good scene, and it's ruined by a bad pun. Two glow sticks is what saves Alfred. See that stupid line. And I don't want to boo. I don't want to boo Arnold. I love Arnold. I've been watching his movies since I was a kid, even though I wasn't supposed to. A lot of his films were not for kids, except for like Jingle All the Way. That's a less embarrassing movie than this. It's just fun, and it's a Christmas classic now. That's gross. Not. We don't know what happens to her because we never see her again. I'm embarrassed by this movie. The ending is kind of sweet with Alfred not dying, but still. I miss you, Michael Goff. May you rest in peace. So one of the only actors in this movie that couldn't be broken by this. But Clooney won an Oscar, so after this, you fought her for 30 seconds. Thank God this is almost over. It's too long, guys. You could have cut a third of this movie's running time and it would have been fine. And a bigger budget and a better writer and better director. Again, that was Batman and Robin. Screw this movie. I never want to watch it again. I'm definitely not doing another live stream. See Batman Sub Zero. That's a much better version of this movie. It's a third of the running time, and it's not painfully long. God, this movie was painful. That's it. We're done with this. We're done with you. May Joe Schumacher rest in peace, but this is not. This movie would have been the worst movie to end his career on. But thanks for watching, the few of you that did. Acknowledge me. Tomorrow I'm doing a much better movie that came out in the 90s called Deep Rising, which also flopped, but it's a better movie than this. It's only an hour and 40 minutes, not 2 hours even, which is way too long, guys. But that's Batman and Robin. I never want to talk about it. Give me this disc. Goodbye and good riddance. See you in the next one.